What's up, guys? $20 Bandit coming to you live from my garage. Today I'm gonna check something out. Pretty freaking cool knife. This is the C95G2 the Manix2 XL, the rebirth of the Manix. More so like the original than the Manix2. But here it is, right here. Ta-da! I don't know if you guys know the history of the Spyderco knife, but the original Manix was released, I think, in 2004, and it was like a real stout knife, backlocking, folder, and a lot of people really liked it. It was just a good all-around knife, excellent performance, solid knife. And then I think it was 2005, the C95 Manix kind of like created a smaller version called the C101, and that had it retained the backlock mechanism and all the other features of the original, but it was like a compact version, which is good. Personally, I don't like the compact version. I like the larger version of the knife. So it was like a downsized version, and it kind of inspired the Manix2, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. It's got a ball bearing lock mechanism like this knife does here. But the Manix2 is, it's a capable knife. It's a good EDC blade, cutting chores like smaller stuff, anything, boxes, whatever. But bigger is better, you know what I mean? And I, along with I guess quite a few other people, have been requesting them to bring back the full-size Manix. And Spyderco, always changing, always growing, always getting better. They decided to kind of combine some of the features of the Manix2 and the original Manix. And basically this is what they came up with. The XL2. Here's your ball bearing lock release right here. Really, this is a solid knife, man. It's huge. I think the blade length is 3.86 inches, but you can see that blade is just about as wide as my palm. It's got some great jimping. The ramp could have been a little bit better on the back here, but they're very sharp. The jimping on the back. See if my camera is going to cooperate today or not. Probably not, but it's jimped pretty solidly down the back of the blade here. And also they've got jimping right here. There's a finger choil right here, which I love. You can grip up on the knife, do some detail work, even though it's a 3.86 blade. It's full flat ground, and it's a standard. They've done their lightening by milling out the liner of the knife. It's got an excellent grip right there. You can get your hand. There's a lot of real estate on the handle of this knife. And the G10, you can't really see it, but the G10 on this, I compared it to. Set this down for a second. The G10 on this out of overseas produced the Spyderco Resilience, and this is super low traction right here. I mean, you just don't get anything out of that at all. But you pick this one up, and this G10 is solid. There is a lot of traction there. And then on top of that, like pretty much everything on this knife is jimped some way or another. This right here, this choil grab spot is jimped. It's jimped right here on the back of the actual handle. Then you've got back blade jimping and finger choil jimping right there. So I mean, this is not coming out of your hand, basically. It's a solid lockup. There's a lot of real estate on this knife to hold on to it. Excellent, excellent overall feel, fit, and finish on this blade. Super impressed. I love that they did a full flat grind on the blade. I'm becoming a huge fan of that. Every time I buy something that's full flat ground, I can just get the proper relief and a real sharp edge on it. But basically, you know, that's kind of the heart of this knife. It's got a 3.86 inch blade. It's flat ground, and it's a S30V, CPM S30V stainless steel. It's a little bit longer, and it's quite a bit thinner than the original Manix. I think that's just, you know, what we're demanding these days, along with the full flat grind, which they seem to be adding to a lot of their knives. But anyways, you know, they've increased cutting performance by making the blade a little bit longer and doing the full flat grind, and the jimping on the thumb ramp, four-finger choil, I mean pretty much everywhere, gives you really good control. I think it's a 14mm Spyderco finger grab hole right there, Spyderco finger grab hole. Easily to do with gloves, easy to deploy with gloves, and thing's just awesome, man. Stainless steel liners, G10 scales. Pretty cool, man. It's tip up only, but it is right or left hand. So for all you lefties out there, you know, tip up carries the way to go anyways, so in my book, but you can go either way with it. It's got a huge fob, or whatever you want to call it, lanyard hole that's lined, and it's got this ball bearing. I guess it's their patented mechanism. I forget what they call it. It's like a steel ball bearing contained inside of like a polymer cage. So, you know, when the blade is open, the spring-loaded steel plunger drives the ball bearing forward to wedge between a ramp on the blade and the steel anvil and the handle's backspacer. So pulling the cage ball bearing to the rear releases the lock, basically like that, and it's a real quick deploy, solid lockup. There's zero play in that. Zero play, and this thing is solid as a rock, man. I am super impressed. This is another one of my favorites from Spyderco. But it's just super smooth and easy to operate, and it's ambidextrous, like I mentioned before. So, you know, all you lefties out there, you're good to go. So anyways, the pivot bushing system, it uses like a shouldered oversized bushing nested into the holes of the stainless steel liners. So that style of bushing basically increases the strength of the pivot, it reduces friction, and it gives a real solid lockup, tight tolerances, I guess you could call it. But anyways, just wanted to let you guys check this knife out up close and personal. Camera's cooperating a little bit better today. I'm like on the likability scale, I'm giving this thing like a 9 out of 10. It's a little bit big to be an EDC knife, but depending upon what you're doing, it might be the right choice. This would be an excellent like backup survival blade. You know, like I said, it's almost a 4-inch blade. You can't really do any cutting of wood or anything like that, but just about every other task this would be super useful. It is a folder, you know, so what are you going to do? You can see that when that sits in my hand, it's a good, what is that? It's got to be like 4 and change closed. Yeah, it's 5 inches closed. And the blade, let's just double check some of these. 3.86 is what they said, cutting edge. Yeah, it's more like 3.5 cutting edge, 3.86 with the choil, if you count that. So, nice They kept the width down too. I mean, it's like 1/4 of an inch thick. Really solid blade. It's nice and thick all the way through. So this is a solid folder, and it's probably gonna be something that I'm gonna carry on me when I go out to the desert or hiking. For folder, it's good for me. It's a little bit heavy. I forget what the weight is. It's got to be somewhere in the 4-ounce department. But anyways, really good fit and finish. You know, this comes out of Colorado, so they got a lot of pride in what they do there, and I like that, which is why I bought this knife. But biggest folder that I own. Wanted you guys to check it out. So that's about it. Only thing I would have changed on this is, man, I'd love for this not to be clear, to be black, or even metal, stainless steel. I know they're trying to save weight, but the clear, it just kind of goes away. It's hard to visually lock in on that. If it was black or something like that, it would be better. Other than that, this thing's awesome. Alright, so that's it. $20 Bandit. This is the Manix2 XL. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, bye.